And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 123 of Player Life. It is Monday, the 31st of May here in Tokyo, Japan. Coming to the end of May. Time is flying on by. But it's good times indeed. Who we got in the house? We got Gabriel E in the house, episode 123 on the 5th of the 31st of the 21st. This an anagram show? Maybe so, maybe so. Spark55 in house, what's up? What's good? Guys, hope you are having a good start to your day, or maybe afternoon or evening, wherever you're at. Rishi Padaruth in the house, what's good, brother? What is up? Had a good day. Started off my day here in Tokyo by doing my monthly webinar on talking about cold approach. For anyone who doesn't know, the webinar is part of my private or the premium content. I'll just share that just for the start. I've shared it before, but why not? So, premium content, access to blog, webinar, and Telegram. So, one monthly webinar is what we did this morning. We talked about day game, cold approach mainly, and it was 2 hours long, and it was a good time. One monthly 2-hour webinar on game dates and times will be decided according to the members. So, but usually they're going to be held at the end of each month. So today it was held at 9 p.m. Central Time. You also get access to Telegram private group and blog where I write about, pickup, day game, cold approach, all that good stuff. Good times. So check it out. I mean, right now it's growing. The group is growing. So right now it's a nice size. There's about 13 members in the group, and so if you want to get in while it's still small, because I intend to, I'd like to get 100 people in there ideally, but it's kind of nice when it's small, because people also get to ask questions and get their say. It's more intimate, let's just say. But yeah, so that's what I started my day off doing. Rishi says, bro, just wanted to know your thoughts on getting blood work. Blood work, I'm not the type of guy that likes to go, I like to stay away from hospitals if I don't need to go there. I'm luckily enough right now I'm fit, I'm healthy, so I don't need to go anywhere near a hospital. I mean, I try and stay away from them as much as possible. But if you're having trouble, I mean, if there's something wrong with you, if you're, maybe you should get your blood work done. But if there's nothing wrong with you, if there's nothing majorly wrong with you, you don't need to go. That's my opinion. But stay away from apart from you should get, if you're sexually active, you should get tested, obviously, at least, it depends on how sexually active you are, but at least once a year. But yeah, I'm not a fan of hospitals. I don't like going to them. I don't like being near them. I don't like waiting. I don't like, I'm not a fan of hospitals. But like I said, if you're not feeling great, if there's something, wrong with you, then yeah, getting your blood work done, not a bad idea. Rishi says hormone and sugar levels. Like, again, if it's like, if you're feeling, lethargic, weak, and you're still doing all the right things. You're eating correctly, and you think you're getting enough exercise, and you're still feeling bad. Yeah, you need to get your hormones checked or your sugar levels. But yeah, try and put in the work first. Try and live healthily before you go to the trouble of getting your blood work done and all that. You might just not be eating correctly or exercising enough or getting enough sleep. It's really, some people who think, oh, I'm feeling shit. I'm not feeling great, and it's like they're getting like 4 hours of sleep a night. They're eating fucking McDonald's for lunch. They're not exercising. Yeah, no wonder you're feeling. No wonder. I'm not talking to you, Rishi, but just some people. Some people are like complaining about being depressed, and it's like the same thing. You're not getting enough sleep. You're eating junk food. You're playing video games. You're not getting outside. You're not getting exercise. It's like obviously you're going to be depressed. Obviously, there's going to be something wrong with you if you're not living healthily. Our bodies are organic. It's made of organic material. You have to. It's like it expires eventually. I mean, if you treat it badly, it's gonna make you feel bad. All this fucking bullshit about depression and all. It's like, you know people are living depressing lives, and not living healthy lives, and they're wondering why they're depressed. It's like, because your life is like shit and you're making it shit. It's all like self-inflicted depression for the most part. And people just like, living in squalor, living like dirty, don't clean their rooms. They're smoking pot, like drinking, like it's eating cereal for dinner kind of thing. It's like, and I also hate the whole thing of like where depression became this like kind of fashion accessory where it's like it's cool to be depressed, and it's like, get out of here. People crying about their trauma, not disparaging people that had trauma. Plenty of people have had genuine trauma, but the meme I shared where the guy's like complaining about having to go on dates because he has to talk about his trauma all the time. It's like, who the fuck goes on dates and thinks that's an attractive thing to bring on a date? Being vulnerable. I'm being vulnerable. And it's like, this blue pill idea that being vulnerable is somehow endearing. It's going to make you somehow like endearing to women. Women are going to be attracted to how emotional and vulnerable you are. Get the hell out of here. The pussy will never get so dry. In like, there's so much bullshit. Like, it's all this Tumblr bullshit. Tumblr, mainstream media, these like just woke bullshit. Oh, just open up, be vulnerable as a man. It's so hot when a man is vulnerable. It's so hot when a man is vulnerable and cries. It's like, it's seriously a depopulation strategy. They're really trying to make, women are actually repulsed by that. And it's like, it's so funny. It's hilarious. It's also funny the way there's this idea out there that women are the more empathetic of the sexes. Like they're the empathetic. They have so much empathy towards, in reality, they don't really have that much empathy. It's more like they have to, it's almost like a survival strategy that they have to pretend almost to be empathetic. But a lot of the time when women are being empathetic, it's more like it's just words. They don't, a lot of the time they don't act under empathy. It's more just like, oh yeah, that's so, oh yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. And it's like, but all it is words. Like there'll be no action behind it. They're not going to be, they're not going to be coming home with you basically at the end of the date. If you go on a date and act all vulnerable and weak and like, talking about your trauma and this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, all the bad things that happen to you, like, yeah, you're not getting laid, unless you, unless you're super chad the fuck out. But it's still an unattractive thing. Know your worth in the house was good. Eltas says blood work is never a bad thing. Occasionally, yeah, I mean, other than STD checks, I don't get it done. But I mean, that's just more of a personal thing. I live reasonably healthy. There's nothing wrong with me. Um, you know, nice try, governor in the house was good. But yeah, your health is your wealth. Take care of your health. Live healthy, eat well, get enough sleep, exercise. You know, uh, or PA says empathetic only when they fuck up. Who when men fuck up? Who fucks up? But yeah, these days people are just becoming weaker and weaker. They're just getting like bubble. They just want to be they just want to be. They're so like removed from any kind of danger. And with all this like beer bug shit that's going on, um people are becoming super bubble wrapped, super weak, and all this like guys wearing men, women, children, everyone wearing these nappies on their faces is actually like making people so. I think from observation, it's making people like more lethargic, weaker, more susceptible to get sick, because a lot of people, their hygiene standards, you know it's really unhygienic. Those face masks are only supposed to be worn for medical procedures. They're not supposed to be worn like for 12 hours a day. Like it's disgusting like to wear something like that on your face. um all the germs that you're like the environment is like a petri dish, like especially with someone like me with a beard. Like if I'm wearing a mask on my face all day, like it's like a petri dish of just germs that are gonna like, because it's hot and moist, and it's really disgusting. And I from what I reckon, it makes people even sicker. People are more inclined to get sick, just because it's dirty. You see these people walking around with these filthy masks, like dirty masks, like disposable masks that they're probably wearing for weeks on end. It's rotten. I saw a guy today. Japanese in general are pretty hygienic, but I saw a guy today. Some of them are not, obviously, but I saw a guy today, and he was wearing one of those disposable masks, and it was like brown with dirt. It was filthy. It was just like brown. It was nasty, and it was up over his face, and like he looked so weak. He just looked so like he was. It was actually on the. It was on the subway. I was on the subway, and he's wearing this like brown, dirty mask, and he's about 60, but he looks so like so weak, and it looked like self-inflicted weakness. It just looked, because he was wearing these like he had these cotton gloves on as well, and over the cotton gloves were these like latex gloves. It looked disgusting. And today was like a hot day in Tokyo, so it was hot and clammy, and he was just like he was all sweaty, and he was wearing these gloves, and he was fumbling around. He was like, and then he had this drink of water, and he was trying to like, he had to take off the gloves, and he was fumbling around with the gloves, and it just looks so weak and pathetic. Um, it's like you had to take off the glove. It's just, and it's so pointless too. It's just garbage. Um, yeah, but Spark55 says you should test your hormones from time to time. Indeed, indeed. Some people probably should, especially if they're very, if they're feeling lethargic and weak. Elta says, I've only ever worn a mask for a few minutes when I've had to, and it comes straight off. You're collecting what the body wants to get rid of and breathing it back in. It's insane. It really is insane. Yeah, I really, I'm the same here in Tokyo. I'd only wear it when, if I have to enter some buildings, but vast majority of places in Tokyo, they don't require it anymore, and I certainly don't wear it out and about at all. But yeah, and another thing is like I don't use those hand sanitizers. Fuck that. There's only basically the only time I wash my hands is after I go to the toilet. I wash my hands then. That's enough in my opinion. Like, it's healthy in a way, in my opinion, to not, overwash your hands, because we need to have a healthy immune system. So we need to be consuming a certain amount of bacteria to build up a strong immune system. All these pussies, all these weaklings are going to be so weak after all this like protection and bubble wrap that they've had. All the constant like dousing their fucking bodies in alcohol sanitizer and just like completely cleansing and killing all bacteria. And then what's going to happen when they're exposed to like a little bit of bacteria on some food or something? They're going to get like food poisoning and just, and the common colds and all this shit. And then, they're going to say that the common cold is the beer bug. And it's like, it's just garbage. It's retarded. It's like, it's pure silliness. Icky says, bro, if I live in London and got kicked out from the shops for not wearing a mask. Yeah, never happened to me ever in Tokyo. Like, the only places I've been asked to wear masks actually in Tokyo were department stores. When I tried to, but they don't, that hasn't happened in a long time. I've never been asked to wear a mask in any like grocery stores. It's so stupid, this whole thing. It's so stupid. Never once has anyone asked me to wear a mask in a grocery store while I was doing my shopping. I never have, and I never will unless it's like, unless they make it like illegal not to, and then where I have to eat, and but it's just garbage. Gabriel E says, Sterling Cooper says eating ass has saved his immune system. Probably does. I mean, it's, I've done some fairly degenerate things right throughout. Well, not only during the beer bug, but for many years. But it's probably why I have such a strong immune system from hooking up with. As long as you're not getting STDs, if you're hooking up with different girls that are clean, but doing dirty things with them, it's probably going to make you have a really strong immune system. Icky says, we have good bacteria in our hands to protect us from bad ones. Yeah, I believe we do. I mean, it's not all this idea of like dousing your hands in like, pure alcohol is such a, it's not natural. It's not natural. There's so much pointless shit. Think of all the billions of dollars, like billions and billions of wasted dollars that they spent on these dumbass, like 2 meter apart signs and all this dumb shit. 2 meters apart, like, oh my god, it's so stupid. It's such a waste of like resources and energy, and it's like pointless shit, like just absolutely garbage. Elta says, thinking you can seal children up so they never get ill or sick is dangerous, really dangerous. Yeah, the whole like the idea of like making children wear masks is abusive. It's like, it's absolute insanity. Literally no children like have died from this beer bug. Literally, like, it's just nothing. It's like they're closing down schools. It's, yeah, honestly, I've talked too much about it. It's just dumb. It's just like the whole thing is it's insane. It's insanity. We live in a clown world. It's pure clownery. It's like, people still going around with like goggles and face. It's like cringe. It's like, I see these guys out, men. It's weird. I see more. Sometimes I see more men actually. Where it's weird, man. I see more men wearing these goggles and double masks and latex gloves, and they always look so weak. And the thing is, it's like a choice. It's like they don't exercise. They're hyper worried about infection. They're hyper worried about getting sick, and that only makes them weaker. These like frail, pasty, like clammy, like moist men. They're disgusting. And yeah, like I said, most of these guys, you look at them and it's like self-inflicted. I used to work in this school, and there was this like pasty, weak, doughy, like other teacher, And after every single class, he would go to the sink and he would douse his hands in alcohol, and he would he would take off there was a sink. There's a thing. There was a sink in the school. It was disgusting as well. He would like pull down his mask and he would gargle after every class, like gargle in the staff room. This was when I was teaching English in a school, and it used to drive me fucking nuts. It used to. I used to like. I never even talked to this guy, but I despised him just because he would gargle and it was so loud. And after every class, and he looked so fucking weak. He looked he looked really, just everything about him. Just you look at him and you look up dictionary definition of weak, and you see this guy in it, and it's most likely self-inflicted weakness. It's probably if he ate right, if he got enough exercise, if he wasn't such a pussy, he wouldn't be that weak. But he was he wouldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. Doughy, clammy, just not it's just so not masculine, purely would dry pussies up. But yeah, today that's my rant about just clown world we're living in. But today was a good day other than the clownery that's going on. It's I'm very glad, although I'm surrounded by these these idiots going around with double face masks, goggles, and latex gloves when it's 25 degrees outside, pure disgusting. There's still tons of hotties out. There's today was ridiculous. Today was one of the most ridiculous days. So after the webinar, I went out. It's Monday here. Start off the week well. Go and went and did some exercise as usual, some calisthenics. Let me share the screen. Yeah, so you gotta. This is how you. If you want to stay healthy, you do exercise. You eat well. So today I changed it up a little bit. Wore some ankle weights. It's about 2 kilograms each, so extra 4 kilograms. Actually made it a lot harder. It's to do 10 pull-ups was I weigh about 77 kg, so add the 4 kilograms is extra 81 kg. But yeah, just trying to up the game for sure. But yeah, this is what we do Monday, Wednesday. We just took a few clips today. Got to do the sit-ups, do reps of 25. Trying to work on the form, trying to get go down for try and get parallel or horizontal, and come right up. Try and crunch it up so you get enough tension in your abs. But yeah, the abs are taking shape for sure. The exercises are definitely paying off. Yair is wearing the ankle weights as well. Nice wide grip, fully down, fast on the way up, slow on the way down. Yair is 41 years old, by the way, no excuses, and he's jacked as fuck. It's funny, Yair, we're about the same height, but we actually weigh the same. It just shows I must have a lot heavier bones, because he looks a lot bigger than I do. Yeah, so the chin-ups are actually a lot easier than pull-ups. So these ones are easier than when your hands are facing away from you. These are chin-ups. The other ones, when your hands are facing away, are pull-ups. Pull-ups are hard. I'd say these ones. These are hard. if you can do 10 solid pull-ups, you're doing well. Let me see. But yeah, that was today's exercise. It was yeah, it was a good time. And oh man, there was a lot of chicks out today because the weather was very nice here in Tokyo. Um, Very nice indeed. Um, Let me see. But yeah, let me see. There was. Let me check. Yeah, we did a bunch of approaches too. I thought I might have shared. Let me refresh. Let me refresh this. We did a bunch of approaches today because there was a ton of hotties out. Yeah, so this was. I'm not going to show. Obviously, I'm not going to show her face, but yeah, this is the reason I like day game, is because you can meet. Like she was real hot. She was you know maybe 8 or 9. It depends. She was really hot anyway. Yeah, real nice body. Day game is where it's at. This was only one of the girls that Yair actually hit on. This girl, super hottie. And then I let him talk to her, and then he called me over and we talked to her for a bit. And then her friend came along, and her friend was like just as hot. Friend was super hot. But we got a bunch of numbers today, a bunch of Instagrams. But yeah, Tokyo's ridiculous. Like, there's just hot girls, like hundreds. There's thousands of hot girls. Like, but you never get bored of it. Like, that's the thing. Um, you actually don't get bored of it. Just, but beauty is like, it's common. I mean, in Japan, like, beautiful women are so common. Like, high value men, they're not that common. Um, you know. Uh, Spark 55 said weighted pull-ups are some of my favorite exercises. Yeah, and it's funny, when you do the if you do the weighted pull-ups, and then the next day, next time you work out, you don't use them, you'll have a lot more spring in your pull-ups. So it definitely takes you to the next level. um uh I favor keeping the weights off to focus on proper form. Dips are also very underrated. Yeah, we incorporate the dips too. We do sets of dips. Yeah, proper form is everything, but as long as you keep proper form with the weights, it can be good. Yeah, the only reason I incorporated the weights was because I had reached a point where I could do 5 sets of 10 pull-ups. I had that down. If you can do 5 sets of 10 pull-ups with solid form, you're doing. It's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of people can. If you can do 10 pull-ups, 10 chin-ups, you're doing well. But to do uh, you know 5 sets of 10, that's not easy. That takes a lot of practice. And especially to keep proper form right on the last set. If your form is as good as the first set, then yeah, you've done some work. Um, but yeah, I mean, today was the reason I thought about today's show. Is like, um, when we were doing, we did our workout, and we saw like a bunch of hotties, and we just on our way, we did our workout with some hotties walk by. We'd say hello. Cold approach them, try and talk to them, and although I'm like we're approaching, we're taking action. And it's funny because there's still this sense of FOMO, like fear of missing out, and it's like it thought that FOMO is like it's healthy. You need to have FOMO. Like if you don't have FOMO, like regarding like getting with women, you know FOMO is really motivating, you know. Sort of the first girl we saw was there was two girls. So I was with Yair, and the first girl is just, at a cross, is waiting to cross the crossroads, just stopped at a traffic light, and there's two girls, and I was right beside Yair. Yair saw them first. He dipped in and just said, "Where are we going today, ladies?" The thing I always say to guys is, like, it's not what you say. It's not you can say anything. He's like, it's just an icebreaker, but you know, it's just a thing. Where are you going today, ladies? And they reacted. The one of them was very receptive, and Yair talked to the smaller one. I talked a little bit to the taller one, and it was a good vibe. But she was very, very receptive, and a thing I do recently, I've done it many times, but I've started to use it more recently. Is I'd say, compliment them, say, "Oh, you've a nice style," and then I'd say, "My name is Mac," and I extend my hand, and for shake their hand. But I don't shake. You don't shake a woman's hand like you shake a man's hand. You don't do that. You kind of hold it, like when you shake a man's hand, you give a solid, firm grip. But when it's a woman's hand, you kind of grab it, like you don't grab it, but you take it, and you compliment. Maybe a lot of Japanese girls have their nails done, like nice nails. So you say, "Oh, nice nails," and you kind of hold their hand. You don't shake it. But if they don't pull away, if they're like kind of, and if you really want to make a bold move, you kind of pull them a little bit closer to you. And if they're okay with that, that creates some real sexual tension. Like, it really does. And even bolder move is if you kind of lightly massage your hand, and it's it's kind of, if girls don't want to do that, they'll often, they'll let you know. I mean, a lot, they'll pull their hand away, or they'll like, you'll pick up from the body language that, if they're into it or not. But she was very receptive. She was totally into it. She allowed me to like pull her slightly closer to me, and she was. She liked the fact that I complimented her nails. Like, she was into it. But yeah, there was, even before that, there was another two girls. I forgot about the first two girls. There was the first two girls we met again. It was at another, we were on our way to get a coffee, so there was like a few traffic lights. We saw another two girls, kind of, they were kind of looked up at us when we walked by. So we just kind of don't, we turned around and they were both looking at us. So we obviously, if Japanese girls give signals like that, you go. You don't, they weren't super hot, but they were, cute Japanese girls. And we got their exchange contacts, and they seemed down to meet at some time. If you have a good wingman, it's definitely, you don't need a wingman, but if you have a good one, there's nothing worse than a bad wingman. Like, there's nothing worse than a bad wingman. Like, you're better. Sometimes you're better off alone. But if you have a friend that gets it, you can really clean up. It can be very, because just to be seen with someone, when you're alone, you can still do game. I do most of my game alone, but there's something to be said for, when you're with a friend, because, it shows that you have friends, like girls, trust you more. And especially it's easier to hit on pairs. A lot of girls roll around in pairs. So, it's not that you can't hit on girls alone when they're in pairs, but it's easier obviously if you're with a friend that gets it and that understands game, and is a player himself. it's like, it can be a good combination. There's some friends, there's some guys, you'll have friends that are just, you know, sometimes they need to be a good, it needs to be a good match too. Like Yair and I, we, I think we're a good team when it comes to picking up chicks. A good team, definitely. But yeah, so that was the first girl. Then the second, both of them were pairs, and then the third girl, yeah, Yair was on fire today. He really was. He's very good at game. I mean, he gets it. He gets it like I get it. Um, so yeah, the third one, he hit on her as well. We were just walking down. He noticed her. I didn't really notice her. Then I saw he doubled back, and I said, "Go for it." And he rolled up, and she was like, I noticed her when he approached her, because she was, I turned around, and he talked to her for a few minutes. Then he called me over, and the thing about myself and Yair, we don't give, like, there's no jealousy, there's no, it's, oh, she's mine, like, oh, she's mine, you can't, like, don't flirt with her, like, I approached her first. It's like, there's no jealousy. It's just like we're just out having a good time. I'm happy if he hooks up, he's happy if I hook up. We don't, real players don't give a, really get jealous and all that shit. And we're here, we help each other out. So it's all good. But he was there, we were both flirting with her. Although he hit on her first, we're both flirting with her. She was super hot. Then she was going to meet her friend, so we walked with her a bit, and then she met up with her friend, who was equally as hot, like super hot, like eight or nine, really like sexy fashion too, not like very hot, as you saw in the photos. But yeah, then we rolled up and sat down at a spot where we usually drink our coffee and just chat about things. And it's honestly, it's like, it's crazy. I mean, I shared an Instagram story before, that showed, like, just, we were there for like 20 minutes just drinking our coffee, and I just took some videos of the girls that were walking by. And today was, I didn't take videos today, but I should have. If I took videos today, I have to make a montage someday. Like, just sit there for, with Yair and drink a coffee, and I'll just film some of the hottest girls that walk by, and your minds, you'll be like, holy shit. And it's just like the sheer quantity of women that walk by. That's why the cold hard truth about day game is like location. It really is common sense at the end of the day. You have to get to a spot that has like women in it. Like, you're gonna like struggle with game, like, if you're not in an environment like that, in a habitat that has a lot of women. Like, if you're in a small town in the countryside, it's going to be hard, because there's not a lot of women around. There's not a lot of, there's not a pool to choose from. Like, in Tokyo, it's not that girls are easy. They're not easy. It's actually the opposite. A lot of times they're the opposite of being easy. You absolutely need game in Tokyo, but I've talked about this so many times. But the reality is, a lot of Japanese girls, they're not into like the foreign look. They like softer looking men. They like different kinds of men. So yeah, but the thing that makes Tokyo so great is just the sheer volume. Like, this sheer volume of hot women. So it is a great place to do game. It really is. El Ta says, you've got to have numbers. You can't hang your hat on that one who happens to walk by. The odds are you're so out of practice you'll miss her. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do need to you need to go you need to go to a spot. If fishermen, they go to places where the radar shows shoals of fish, big shoals of fish, and they cast out the nets and they catch the fish. It's the same thing with with pickup. You go to spots where there are women. You know, uh, it makes sense. It's common sense, and Tokyo has like huge population. You could never get through if if you had a new woman every day for the rest of your life. Never get through them all ever. You'd need like, who knows, a million years? I don't know. It's probably a million hot girls in Tokyo. I don't know. Who knows? If you checked out the demographics, like the eligible females from 18 to 30, there's probably a couple of million. There's probably a couple of million of bangable hotties. So you're never gonna. But it's just sitting there on the bench drinking the coffee. There was a sense of FOMO mixed with, sometimes if you drink too much coffee too, you have that like anxiety, not nervousness, but you get that kind of edgy, you kind of like the caffeine high, the caffeine buzz mixed with seeing these unbelievably hot girls. It's like I had that like hard ass FOMO. But it's healthy. It's a healthy motivating FOMO. It's not like, like I'm, I just feel super motivated to get with hot women. And just because, now's the time. But if you don't have FOMO, I don't know what's motivating you to get out there and find women. Some guys are too comfortable not getting women. They get too comfortable. Like I can't understand guys that are going like months on end, years on end without getting with women. It's like, how is the FOMO on that like eating you up? Like, I'm not, I'm never going to be the type of guy that goes like months on end, let alone years on end without getting laid. I mean, I'm going to find a way. I'm absolutely going to find a way. If something happened, I'm not saying guys should pay for it, but I'm just saying like I'm not going like, first of all, I have games, so I don't need to pay for it, but like I'm not going years without getting laid because it's just like, I don't know, the FOMO would eat me up. It's just like I have a healthy addiction to women, and that's completely it's completely normal thing. You should have a healthy addiction to women, like you should. And if you don't, if you're comfortable, you're getting too comfortable with not getting laid or not getting with hot enough women or women that are your type, then you should you need to reassess your situation. Maybe in that case you should get your hormones checked out, or provided that you have, you're eating healthy and you're getting enough sleep and you're exercising. If you're doing all that and you're still like, your motivation is low, then in that case, maybe you need to get your bloods checked or get your hormones checked, or make sure your testosterone is at a healthy level for a male. Thomas Shaju in house, what's up, brother? What is good? But it's just I had a consultation with a guy in Tokyo last night, and I told him a few things about what he can do to improve his game, and he speaks Japanese, so it's a big advantage when you're in Japan and you can speak Japanese. It opens up, because there's a lot of girls out there that they might be interested in hooking up with a foreigner, but they just they don't have the English to be able to do the logistics and all that. So yeah, I told him, like, he's asking about what's your opener, how do you open these girls, and I say the same thing as said all guys. It's not what you say, it's just about the breaking the ice. But in saying that, since I'm in Japan, one thing I find that it has worked for years, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. One thing I say a lot is, I say ego dekimasu, which means, can you speak English? And the reason I think that works so well for Japan is because it works so well because I can tell exactly. It's first of all, it's kind of neutral. I could be looking for directions. I could be. She doesn't know why I'm asking her, can she speak English? It's not like, if you roll up to a girl and you compliment her, it's obvious immediately that you're flirting with her. So yeah, the reason I do that is because I say it to her and she looks at me, and, like, from my experience, um, from thousands of approaches, I can read exactly how much interest she has, like, instantly, um, just from her body language. Like, some girls will say, "Oh, sorry, I can't speak English," but they still have that spark in their eye. Um, it doesn't matter if they say, "I can't speak English," but some girls will say, yes, they can speak English, but there'll be no spark in their eye. They'll have there'll be no interest there. So it doesn't. It depends on the interest level. So if you're in a country where if you're traveling or not, learn how to say in the language. Do you speak English? Um, and you can, the more you do it, you can learn the body language, and learn how much over time, over a lot of practice, you'll see, you'll see that spark I'm talking about. There'll be something, like, there'll be like a smile, or like they'll be like, oh, sorry, I don't speak English, but they'll want to speak. They won't, like, keep walking. They'll stop. They'll engage with their body language will show that they're willing to engage with you, although they can't speak English. So even if they say, "Oh, I can't speak English," but I say, "Oh, don't worry, I can speak Japanese," and I'll say, and then, since I've seen that their interest level, I'll just say, "Oh, don't worry, I just want to say I like your style." I could continue the conversation in Japanese, and say, "I like your style," and I say, and then extend the hand. My name is Mac. I'll, like, see if they're receptive to me, shaking her. I wouldn't call it a shake, but it's obviously different when you shake a woman's hand. It's not like when you shake a girl's hand, like, from pickup. It's not like I said earlier. It's not like you're shaking a man's hand. It's much more. It's lighter. You grab it firmly, but you don't squeeze her hand. You squeeze it centrally. If you're gonna squeeze your hand, you squeeze your hand, like, centrally, and you don't let it go immediately. And you see how comfortable she is with that. Some girls are very comfortable with it, and they'll enjoy that you're holding their hand. And if you're doing it really well, some girls will even caress your hand back, which is like, wow. They'll squeeze back, like, they'll you can kind of, like, massage it. It's almost like a massage, but you have to, and that can create that immediate sexual tension, because there is something, although it's just like hands, you're just touching her hand. Like, if a woman has a very beautiful soft hand, like, it can be quite sensual, if you, like, hold her hand for a long time, like, if you don't let it go. Obviously, if she's into it. Farhan says, "Hi, what do you do when you go up to a girl during day game? She is looking at you, smiling, but not talking much." I mean, if a girl is some girls are just shy, so, as long as if she's looking and smiling and engaging with you, that's a sign that she's enjoying the interaction. I've been on dates with girls who haven't said much at all, But they've been sitting there smiling away, kind of just like answering questions that I asked them, not really asking much, very almost kind of boring, but it's, they're sitting there smiling, but I end up taking them home and having a good bedroom fun with them. So you should, you just enjoy, just hold a conversation. If they're not saying that much, you dip in. You just get her number, get her Instagram, get her whatever messenger, and tell her you'll be in touch. Tell her you'll be in touch to have a drink or something, and then split. If a girl's smiling, it's a good sign. Know Your Worth says, hold it an extra bit a little longer than usual. Yeah, you can hold it for a lot longer. It depends. It depends on how into it she is. Yeah, you can definitely create some good sexual tension when you hold her hand. You should try it out. I recommend it to everyone. And some guys were asking me this morning in the webinar. They were saying, "Oh, should I go monk mode?" I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. I still have a lot of work to do. I got all, I've got this. I just don't think I'm ready to do cold approach. And it's like, you gotta be doing cold approach. Even there's not going to be a point where you're like, okay, I'm finally ready to do cold approach. It's like you just got to start. Like that's why procrastination, going monk mode is not the key. It's not the answer. You got to be, you got to be working on yourself, but you got to be firing all cylinders. You can't, if you keep waiting around, you're just not going to get around to doing it. So you got to go at it, and you got to, you got to understand that rejection is part of the game. It's not a big. I got rejected today a few times. It's not a big deal. Who cares? Rejection is part of the game. It's you get used to it, and then it really doesn't matter because you're getting success. You know that it's worth it. You absolutely do. Alejandro says, what do you think of Daybang by Rush V? I don't know. I don't know what Daybang is. I haven't seen it. Is it a book? Is it, I'm not sure. Is it, picking girls up on the same day and smashing? I've done that plenty of times. It's very, guys think it's like, a lot of guys think that's like fantasy. It doesn't really happen. It's never going to happen for me. But trust me, you can make it happen. I've done it. And it's not actually that complicated. Elta says, I sympathize. Cold approach takes guts. You've just got to have the drive to do it. Yeah, and that's why I'm telling guys they need FOMO. You need to have FOMO. You need to have the fear of missing out, because if you're not approaching, you are missing out. I was talking again to my guy Yair. He's 41 years old. We both 100% know women are not coming to us, and even the ones that are not going to be the ones we're into. Like, even if women do come to us, it's not going to be the kind of women that we want. It's not in female nature to go after men. Like, it's not in their nature. And even when they do it, they're going against what they actually want to do. They're just doing it almost out of desperation. It's like, it's not a good thing. Accept your role as a man. Accept it. Just accept it. Get over it. It might be uncomfortable, but that's your job. If you don't accept it, you're gonna get left in the. You're just gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. That's it. You're gonna miss out. Like, even today, I was just telling Yair. It feels so much better to hit on a girl and get rejected than to not hit on her and think, oh, what if she actually, you missed the opportunity. You don't know. It's way better to get rejected and know that you tried. it's so much better to know that you tried in life, and even if you fail, because you tried, like, you know, you did your best. You don't want to like waste opportunities. Um, uh, Know Your Word says, when I was young, there were no apps. It was all approach in real life. Yeah, man. People have just you know, people have become pussified by all this, you know, these screens and, you know, safe little dating apps, and, you know, people are becoming androids. People are becoming what are called cyborgs. You know, people are becoming, you know, too addicted to their technology. Technology is useful. I mean, it's great if you use it wisely. But you know, cold approach, it can't be beaten. We're still animals. We're still humans at the end of the day. Cannot be beaten. It's fun. You gotta learn to enjoy doing it, and it is fun. Um, you know, that's why, you know, I'm out here in Tokyo. I'm doing like live boot camps where I teach guys in real life, and you can learn so much more from example, because like you can talk about things for days, and like there's so much things you can talk about, but when you see it, when you experience like pickup in real life, and you see all the, you know, everything coming together, you know, it's just a lot easier to understand for guys. But yeah. So yeah, you should have, you know, the moral of today's show is fear of missing out is good. If you don't have it, if you're comfortable not getting laid, if you're comfortable not, you know, banging below average women, you know, that's not good. You want to be aiming higher. You want to get out of your slump. You want to be trying. You want to be, even if you're failing, you want to be trying. Keep trying. Try and try again. You know, play around with it, experiment. Don't be afraid of failure. You know. Do you do work as a dating coach full time, or do you do other things? I do a bunch of different things. Maybe eventually I will do it full time, but we'll see. Um, you know, I'm here in Japan, so for you know, for visa reasons, I do various things. But yeah, who knows in the future? We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, that is going to cut it. As I said before, the premium content, the group is growing by the day. If you want to get in while it's still nice and cozy in there, you know, when you can get your questions answered real quick, consider signing up. It's only $100 a month. You can unsubscribe anytime, but it's definitely going to motivate you. You know, I share things that can't be shared, obviously, on YouTube. So yeah, let me see. Elta final. Yeah, it says the first time I banged a girl on the same day as meeting her, I just moved in and my apartment was a shithole. Didn't matter. Stop worrying about stupid things. Exactly. Yeah, don't overthink. Stop worrying. Stop worrying is for women. Yeah, we're men in here. Stop worrying. But yeah, I guess fear can be a good thing. Fear of missing out specifically. But yeah, guys, gonna cut it there. So I will catch you guys tomorrow night. So have a good day. Peace out. Bye bye.